We know once November gets here, it is officially playoff time in high school football, and 9 of the 10 games featured this week will be win or go home games, with number 2 IMG Academy facing off against Baltimore Power St. Francis Academy being the only non-playoff game. The game of the week is going down in the Lone Star State as 2 Texas powers, Allen and Euless Trinity, face off in the first round of the UIL Texas 6A Division I playoffs. Allen comes in as the number 7 team in the country, and they finished 10-0 for the 4th consecutive season, and it is the 18th straight year the Eagles will be playing in the postseason. For Trinity, it is the 19th consecutive year they will be balling in the playoffs, and the Trojans have won 3 state titles since 2005, while the Eagles have won 4 since 2008. That included 3 in a row when Kyler Murray was under center for Allen from 2012 to 2014. Now, this will be the 4th time these two meet up in the playoffs since 2010. Allen won the latest one back in 2014, and Trinity won the previous 2 in 2010 and 2011, but all 3 of the previous meetings have been one-score games, and I hope we get another one this Friday night. From one top 25 team to another, number 22 Warren Central takes on Center Grove in the quarterfinals of the 6A playoffs. It is a matchup of the top 2 teams in all of Indiana. Warren Central checks in as the top dog, and Center Grove, the defending state champs, check in at number 2. It will be the second matchup of the season between these 2 teams. Warren Central handed Center Grove its only loss of the season, and a matchup to watch is 4-star sophomore wide receiver David Bell, a top 10 wideout in the 2019 class, lining up against Center Grove's 3-star defensive back Russ YEAST, who's also a stud on the offensive side of the rock. Both of these cats check in as top 10 recruits in all of Indiana. From Indiana to Ohio, and get your popcorn ready because 2 Cincinnati rivals face off in the Division I playoffs as number 13 Colerain takes on St. Xavier. This game is always a big-time matchup, but times it by 100 when they meet in the playoffs. And hey, even though St. X comes in 6-5, don't let that fool you. They nearly beat Warren Central earlier this year, and they took Colerain to overtime back in the regular season matchup, but the Cardinals escaped with a 20-14 victory. The scary thing with Colerain, though, is they are playing their best football of the season, and one of the major reasons why is because they're finally healing up. They got 4-star Ohio State commit AMIR back at 100%. He is one of the best corners in the country, and quarterback Gunnar LEYENDECKER is back and healthy too, and my man Manolo Caldwell is the Mike Allstott of high school football. He's been beasting all season long, and last week he rushed for a season-high 176 yards and 3 scores in their first-round playoff win over Springboro. Another big Ohio game going down is in the other side of the D1 bracket, and it's between St. Ignatius and Solon. Solon checks in as the top seed in the Region 1 playoffs, and St. Ignatius is number 4. The Comets are trying to do something they never have, and that is win a state title. While the same can't be said for the Wildcats, St. Ignatius has won 11 state championships in school history. From Ohio to Michigan, while the Wolverines have been the best team in the state in college football, the same can be said for Cass Tech at the high school level. They enter Friday night showdown as the number 16 team in the country, but they are taking on an 11-0 Saline team who is hoping they can bring home its first state title in school history. Cass Tech went back-to-back in 2011 and 2012, and they're hoping they can bring home another championship this year. A name to remember is Donovan Peoples-Jones. DPJ checks in as the number 1 overall wide receiver in the 2017 class, and the 5-star recruit does it on all 3 phases: offense, defense, and special teams. Now, maybe one of the most underrated teams in the country, they still check in at number 17, and we're talking about MCGILL-TOOLEN. They take on an 11-1 Enterprise team in the second round of the 7A state playoffs. McGill enters this one winners of 20 in a row, and one of their 20 wins came against Enterprise en route to the 7A state title last year with a dominant 51-14 win. And a couple names to keep tabs on is BUBBA Thompson, McGill's quarterback. He's actually an Auburn baseball commit, but a lot of football offers, including a couple from the SEC, are starting to come his way. So it'll be interesting to see if he tries to play both at the next level or which one he decides to roll with. And his favorite target on offense has been 2000 2017 USC commit Marlon "Money" Williams. He has been making plays all year long for the Yellow Jackets. Washington, D.C. has a big-time rivalry game going down in the WCAC semifinals as St. John's, one of the most talented teams in the country, takes on Gonzaga for the second consecutive week. In the regular season finale last week, Gonzaga took down St. John's by a score of 45-35, but you got to factor in too, neither one of these teams really want to show the other the whole game plan, so this game is going to be even bigger, and it's the playoffs, so it means much more. The winner advances to the WCAC championship game, and the loser's season is over. The playoffs are also starting in California this weekend too, and talk about firepower. The CIF Southern Section Division I playoffs is off the charts, and the most competitive game going on in this bracket is between Santa Margarita and Gardena Serra. And Serra comes in red hot. They've won 7 in a row, and Santa Margarita finished third in the Trinity League, arguably the toughest league in all of high school football. The winner of this one will most likely have to get through number 12 St. John Bosco in the second round. We got 2 games left, one in Illinois and one in out-of-state contest. St. Charles East and Palatine face off in the 8A state quarterfinals, and both come in with 11-0 records, and both are ranked in the top 10 in the state. The last game featured is the only non-playoff game, but it will have a playoff feeling to it when number 2 IMG Academy and Baltimore Power St. Francis Academy face off. And St. Francis, man, they're coming in red hot. They just won its first Maryland Interscholastic Athletic Association Class A title, and it's pretty remarkable because they went 2-10 last season. IMG Academy, they're among a short list of names that have a chance to be the mythical national champ. They've beat the who's who so far this season and done so quite impressively. And I mean, you can talk about a million different guys on this team. They're arguably the most talented in the country, but the guy I want to single out is 4-star quarterback Kellen Mond. He's been big time this year. Last week, he tied Shea Patterson's single-season school record, throwing for his 18th touchdown of the season, and he is one away from tying Alabama's Bo Scarborough's single-season record with 16 rushing touchdowns in a season. And keep in mind, IMG still has 2 more games left on the schedule, so there's a good chance Mond will own both records all by himself.